Hello, hello, hello. It's Wednesday and it's time for Pop and Politics. We are talking about the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ along with my amazing co-hosts. We have Crystal,
Hey guys.
Yana, and Shelly E.
Hi.
All right, join the conversation by leaving a comment on YouTube or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. If you miss us on YouTube, we are also on Rumble. You can listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Guys, we are an independent media. Certainly appreciate your donations. We love the super chatters that you guys come on here with us tonight. So certainly appreciate that. Also, as I mentioned every week, we are not just a podcast, we are a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking American patriots that love freedom. So we understand that there is a target on our backs, and so that's why we come together on here as a community, and so we want to lift each other up, lift up this rallying call for freedom. So certainly you can help by subscribing, by commenting, by just coming on here and joining us in this community of freedom-loving patriots. All right, ladies, let's set it off.
Let's go.
All right, so we're starting off tonight we're going to get to Trump because a lot to talk about with Trump. The RFK interview, Clinton's interview of him, and the polling out today says he's doing very well in swing states. We're going to get to all of that. Before we go into it, though, we got to talk about this LSU Iowa basketball game on Monday. So Angel Reese and LSU lost 94-87 in the Elite Eight tournament on Monday against Caitlin Clark, an inspired Caitlin Clark of Iowa, a much anticipated repeat of last season's title game. After what could have been the final game of her college career, a tearful Reese spoke about what she has endured since winning the 2023 NCAA title. Take a look. This is clip number 2.
Yeah, it's beyond that, Key. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. We saw a white girl in Iowa do it to a bunch of black girls.
Well, of course.
That made it like, oh, that gained my respect. That gained my respect.
I hear you. You're
like
right.
That's like, oh, she didn't do this to some other little white girls that was over here in Colorado, wherever. She did it to some girls from LSU who we thought was some dogs.
Defending champs.
And put them on their knee and spanked them. And so I know, but I didn't expect.
All right. That was actually, I misspoke. That clip, I want to show you guys the clip of her complaining, but that was a clip we're going to show as well, this one. So that one was the clip of Pierce. I believe his name is Paul Pierce on Fox Sports. So he's he's like a pundit, right? Yeah, sportscaster. And he was talking about the game. And again, they always have to include race in this. Ladies, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Shelly? How he was talked about them,
Yeah, I saw that clip, him talking about it. What I think is that they are so loath to give Caitlin Clark her props because she's a white woman. They don't want to be crushed and blackballed by the mainstream media for not paying homage to Queen Angel. So I think there's a lot of that. Now, I think Stephen A. Smith, he gave all these props, but again, it's a little line in there. He said something to kind of like, basically, but Caitlin, she was okay. She did well, but Angel, it's again, they just want to tiptoe around the black women roses because they are afraid. They are as afraid as the Democrats are of losing the next race. They just don't want to, quote unquote, offend black people.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal. I mean, everything has to be through the lens of race. Before you begin, I do want to go over he was blasted on Twitter for those comments. Someone said this is divisive and detracts from the greatness these young women are displaying. Someone else said, what an absolute trash take. Clark is a phenomenal player, but it's not about a white girl doing it to a bunch of black girls. Come on. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just kind of feel like you guys in sports, I thought, honestly, the race thing I thought was okay. The reason why is black people are historically good at basketball, right? And so it's kind of cool to see this white girl just spike them, you know? So I felt like it was appropriate. I didn't feel like in this situation, I didn't feel like they were making it about race. They were giving it like white. You remember the whole white men can't jump kind of movie? So I kind of felt like it was that, and I feel like we just like it's like we put race in when it don't belong, and then when it do belong, like we just don't know where to put it. But I was not offended at all by him saying that. I do think that it's worth stating that they got spanked, but these are kids, you guys, and that's what I don't feel like. They are kids. Anytime I'm 20 years older than you, and I'm like, these are kids, and they're playing games, and I felt like it was just okay, and I felt like we took that way
like
too
you
serious.
Said, Caitlyn and her team
spanked them.
Exactly.
It's funny.
What you in here on this, Yana? I mean, do you think that it was something we're making a big deal out of it, or you think
in terms of the race?
You think he was okay to
well,
make it a
I mean, when
racial
I
thing?
heard that, all I could hear is black, white girl, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what the heck is going on. But I'm like imagining if these were white people saying the same thing and keep like referring to someone's race over and over, like that would be considered inappropriate. Yeah. So why is it appropriate for bunch of black guys, you know, talking in that kind of way, in that kind of divisive way about players? So, I mean, in any other scenario in the world, this would be considered inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of unintelligent also. Instead of them as sportscasters talking about, the actual game, giving us a rundown, saying, well, this person did this one did that. It comes off as a little unintelligent to me to kind of just focus on their race. Mm-hmm. But
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
All right, so we're moving right along. So again, I wanted to play this clip initially. So this is what got a lot of buzz after the game. Of course, Angel Reese doing the presser and giving some comments about what she has endured. Take a look at this. This is clip number 1.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then.
All right, so she received a lot of flack on that. You're chomping at the bit, so go on,
look,
Shelly.
let me chomp this bit. Look. First of all, was that a eulogy? Or did they just lose a game? Because I thought they were burying Angel Reese, somebody, because this was ridiculous. That's number one. Then she had the tissue for the fake tears. When you cry, your nose snots and your eyes run, but I ain't never seen nobody wipe on the side like they wiping makeup like I do when I'm sweating sometimes with all the lights around here, right? This was pitiful. She turned this into about her, her sexual, what they gotta do with her losing the game? You lost, just take the loss. In every game, someone is going to win and someone is going to lose. What it was that she was embarrassed because Caitlin Clark played much better. Her team, whatever their coordination, the 41 shots, nine 3-pointers. Come on, just take the L. Take it like a man, I guess, queen. I mean, I'm serious. Where's your character? But I partly blame that coach, Kim Mulkey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal. I mean, you think she was just a sore loser?
No. I I think that was fair. I mean, like, you guys, I look at this as like, these are children. They're in college. Like, she's still very immature. So she was crying, but I do think that she falls in the culture. Like, you guys, this is the culture. And she's bringing up the fact that she got death threats. Girl, you was the queen bee just last year.
Exactly.
Like, and now you lost. Okay, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should go back to the drawing board and say, where did we win? Those white girls, and I'm going to say white girls, came to play ball, period. They came to play ball, and Blanchard actually said, like, the LSU, they came with their weave, their nails, they had the lashes, and you didn't come to play ball, and they got the best of you, and you lost.
Exactly.
And so maybe this will be a learning for her.
I don't think so, but
What are your thoughts here, Yana? I mean,
Isn't this the same girl that like last year she was like boasting
Yes.
about her win? So she was like bigger than life and she was acting that way.
Yes.
And also, isn't that the team that walked off during the national?
well, they
team?
weren't on the court.
Okay.
But we can mention that too. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So like they're so big and so like we're better than everybody else and we're so strong. And then once they lose, it's like
That's what the problem
oh, now I'm gonna cry and I'm gonna bring up all these pitiful things that happened to me. It's like, no, if you want to be strong all the time. And so, yeah, they're acting like children, but these are not children.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
mean,
children.
I did do a little research on this. So last night I did reach out to some coaches on the women's teams here in Maryland because Angel Reese is from Maryland. And so I was able to talk to some coaches that have played against her here in Maryland to just get some insight. And so what they said, they brought a different sort of perspective on this. So they were in agreement that she, they didn't like, she said she didn't like her style of play throughout the season, but she's always been like this. So Angel Reese, as she was here playing in Maryland, she was a good player, but she's always been trash talking. She's always been this one that's very verbose on the court and off the court, very arrogant. And so,
So she's a bully. That's what I'm gathering.
Well, she's a baller.
Right, she's
Like,
a baller,
she's a baller.
right. And but she is what I want to read what she's she is now who she is who she says who she is now was who she was in high school. Yeah. See, she doesn't agree. So she doesn't agree. The coach says she doesn't agree with a lot of the trash talking. That image and weight of her trash talking is starting to get to her now. So what's happening here is she did all this in high school. She does not have a good support system around her to say, this isn't appropriate. And not only that, now she has all of this media attention.
Exactly.
Before she didn't have that. So she was, talking trash and all this type of stuff. And there was no pushback.
And there was no real competition.
No, not really the competition. It was she's played some really good players. It's not about the competition. It's about her not understand, like when you get in front of the media on this main stage, the way she was acting here in Maryland does not play on the national stage. She is getting death threats. She is getting a lot more attention nationally now because she won this, and she doesn't know how to respond. She does not know how to handle it.
And her coach,
and
Kim
now
Mulkey,
she's whining about it.
And Kim Mulkey doesn't help it.
Well, that's what we want to move to next.
That's what you get. That's
Right.
all I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
if you're gonna have that kind of attitude, expect that kind
But
of.
she's not
being trained.
She's not being trained to accept it. And like you mentioned, she said something about Kim Mulkey. She said, and Kim Mulkey is capitalizing on all of this attention.
And so
she
is
doesn't want to. Well, she is.
So is Angel.
Right, but now it's turning on her.
Exactly.
And she doesn't know how to.
Kim Mulkey has always been flamboyant.
Losing is good for her.
It's not about the losing.
Losing is good for her.
Yeah, it's not about
It is gonna
the losing.
humble her. Honestly, you guys, like I see people trash talk all the time. That is part of Angel Reese's personality.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, she got spanked. So this is good for her. Let her lick her wounds. Let her go back and say, okay, next time I'm going to trash talk and I'm gonna win. And that's okay. That's what I said. Like we're just kind of I feel like we as adults have to look at them as their life plays out, as them being so young. They'll learn.
Well,
They'll learn.
last year when we talked about that, I don't think you were on here, but last year we were actually supporting her for the trash talk, because they said it's part of the game. You know, I mean, we were supporting her in that. This particular interview, again, I thought it was a damn eulogy. I wanted to pull out my own tissues.
Right. Well, I honestly believe that she was really affected by it. And one thing you mentioned about her wiping her tears, she had on lashes. She did not want to get the lashes off. So that's why she was wiping them that way. But I think she was really crying. But my thing is, this is an ongoing issue we see on now a lot where these young people are coming up. So back in the day, you had handlers, you had adults in the room that would coach these people on how to do press conferences, how to react, or you don't act the same way behind the scenes or on the court or even on the stage, because a lot of these rappers, these musicians, these artists, they don't have the coaching that the Supremes and these older groups had. You know, they were told how to act in public. Now you have these people coming out on stage, whether it's on the court, whether it's, you know, in the artistry, and they have no, I don't know what's the word.
No coof.
Right, no coof, no training on how to act and present yourself to the public. And instead of an adult, you know, right, telling them, hey, you know, you need to do this media training, you need to do that, public speaking, this, they capitalize on it because now this has become a trend. It's become marketable, not in a good way. And so when they get the pushback that she's getting now, you don't know how to handle. Right.
You wanted that
you don't know how to handle. But
yeah, and I honestly, I don't mind the trash talking. It's kind of like Mayweather, you guys. Nobody talks more trash and is as flamboyant as Mayweather, but he wins. She just told her nobody would be saying this would be a dead conversation if she would have spanked that white girl.
Even though they lost, had she come out to say something, I would say something similar to, you know what, we lost, we played our best, but she
did say that though in the beginning of the presser. She did.
You know, whatever. She made it all about her being some victim.
I don't think so.
Whatever. I mean, all she had to do was say that. She probably would have gotten much better reception from that.
Well, they didn't play the clip that has gone viral is just that clip of her complaining, but it's a 10. It's I know we did, but it's a 10-minute long presser, and all throughout the beginning, she and her teammates were taking accountability. Now, I want to move on to what happened also there during the national anthem. So also on Monday night, LSU was absent during the national anthem while Iowa's players were present, holding hands on the court for the anthem. So we have that. Coach Mulkey commented on that after the clip. I'm sorry, after the incident. Take a look here. I believe this is clip number 2.
Wasn't on the floor during the national anthem. First part, was that a conscious decision on your part? Second, can you say what the team was doing during that time?
Honestly, I don't even know when the anthem was played. We kind of have a routine where we are on the floor and then they come off at the 12-minute mark. That's when the anthem. We just, I don't know, and we come in and we do our pregame stuff. I'm sorry, listen, that's nothing intentionally done.
All right. So she took a lot of flack for that. People were saying, oh, they're trying to skirt standing for the national anthem. What are your thoughts there, Shelley?
To be balanced and fair, I've read and also heard reports some other journalists say to be there throughout their LSU time, they're not always on the floor during the anthem. But I think, in my never to be humble opinion, I think they planned it that way. I think they purposefully are not on the court when the anthem is being played. So again, that's just what I think.
What's your thoughts on that, Crystal?
Not acceptable at all. Like that pisses me off more than anything. You ungrateful y'all. I know I've been calling them children. This is where I draw the line. This country has been great and wonderful to you. I'm not doing this with y'all blacks this year. I'm not. It's an election year. We not kneeling. LeBron, I don't know what you're going to do this year. I'm not doing it with the football. We are not doing that, okay? We are going to stand for our national anthem. We are going to pledge of allegiance to our flag, and we're moving on.
What about your thoughts on this, Yana? You think it was intentional?
I don't know. I mean, that lady looked like she just wanted to dismiss the whole question. She's like, I don't even know. I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's the attitude. It's annoying that that's the attitude that people have towards the national anthem. It's sad. And frankly, the way I see that girl, Reese, whatever, she's low class. She, the whole trash talking, I'm sorry, I think that's low class. And that's what you get. You either a tough bully and you just behave that way the whole time, or you're a crybaby. You cannot be both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it was an intentional diss on the national anthem. I mean, people that know Coach McCall Mulkey, she's very patriotic. I mean, she's a woman that's very conservative. She's kind of stood out in this women's league against a lot of the other coaches for being conservative. She's not for all this LGBT. Her attitude. She started out as a coach at a religious university, Baylor, where she refused to worship the LGBTQIA plus mafia. She advised Brittany Griner, remember her, and other homosexual players to keep their private lives private. She wasn't a fan of tattoos and constantly changing their hair colors. She's been a strong advocate of conservatives in Louisiana, and she's pretty patriotic. So I think what it was, I mean, I think it's just a situation where they are really about that game. Now, yes, they should stand for the national anthem. They should be out there. But as you mentioned, Shelley, they have missed it several times. They're just about the game. They go in, and this is another thing the coach that I talked to said here in Maryland. She said that she's played. She knows Kim Mulkey as well to be very patriotic. They do some type of gameplay. Yeah. So they're just about this game thing. So,
which is fine, but you got to prioritize the things that are important.
Yeah. If she wanted them on that court, they would have been on that
court. She should have made sure that they were on that court.
Yeah, that's what it is. So we'll continue to follow this. This definitely was a viral moment, and it got a lot of attention, or brought a lot of attention to women's basketball. So I guess that's a good thing, and we will continue to follow it. All right, so moving right along to former President Donald Trump. So Trump and co-defendants in his New York civil fraud case have posted a bond of $175 million. So, of course, we followed this. We've been following this for weeks. The bond was lowered from over $450 million to this, and he was able to pay that money. And of course, it has driven the left crazy. I mean, crazy. Take a look at this. This is a Hillary Clinton. Clip 3.
One is old and effective and compassionate, has a heart, and really cares about people. And one is old and has been charged with 91 felonies.
Yeah, okay.
I mean...
Okay, interesting.
I don't understand why this is even a hard choice, really. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So you heard what she said. She's talking about or comparing Donald Trump to Joe Biden or vice versa. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, 91 felonies that are really trumped up charges.
Well, my first thought when I saw her, she looks like the conjoined twins that we're going to talk about a little bit later. She just has one head on her shoulder. But she really does. I kept looking at her and said, who does she look like? That's number one. Number two, Hillary Clinton, as rich and powerful as she still may be in the DNC, this is also a woman who doesn't know how to take the L, because she's still sitting here running her mouth, and she has never and will never be president. And let me say another thing. She's talking about Donald Trump. He paid the bond. Well, in 2015, this was, I think, according to some sites I saw, Wikipedia and a couple of other sites. In 2015, before Trump was president, his net worth was about $1.5 billion. Today, All these 91 felonies is close to 7, almost 5 times, a little bit more than 5 times more. Hillary, go home. Yeah, you know, the deplorables, take your butt home and just sit on it because you have nothing and no relevance anymore.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Crystal? What do you...
I think the Democrats need to take a page out of the conservative book. I know, conservatives are always trying to match the Democrats, but at this time, like, y'all need to get rid of y'all like donkeys. Like, I'm being like serious. Like, why is Hillary Clinton even a factor at this point? Like, y'all still listening to Hillary? Y'all still interviewing her? Y'all still care what she has to say? Nothing of anything that she's done has worked for y'all. It hasn't improved your lives. Like, she still hasn't apologized for what she did to Haiti. Like, and y'all still listening. Y'all still care what Hillary Clinton has to say. You know who doesn't care what she has to say?
Donald
Trump. He does not care, you guys. And I think that we just all need to kind of take a look and inventory at the people who have power in our world at this point. It's like, really? Like, I want to interview Hillary Clinton. Oh, really?
Yeah. I totally agree. What are your thoughts on there, Yana? I mean, we have Hillary. She's not bringing up any real facts about the differences in the candidates. She's talking about these trumped up charges that everyone knows it's a witch hunt.
Right. And so whenever they talk about Trump and his charges, it makes me think of all these countries that Hillary Clinton likes to criticize for being totalitarian, but whenever in those countries, let's say in China, I don't know, when they like to criticize Russia, what happens there oftentimes is that when the leading party doesn't like a certain candidate or someone in the government, all of a sudden these charges appear. All this like tax evasion and
One is old and effective and
situation with the prostitute. Like, literally, people do not care about these charges. These are not even real. Like, he didn't do anything, and it's like it's such.
She's so disconnected.
It is.
And honestly, I'm pretty sure. Like, doesn't she have some like weird stuff in her background?
Of course. But of course, they're not going to call on her because
celebrating in the.
They're not going to give her any flack about anything because she's the media is in control, leftist media.
Yeah, but then she says things, you guys. Like, do y'all hear? Like, she's like one's old and compassionate. What the hell does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
I know.
Every time she speaks, more people go to Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, because there's an unlikely advocate for Donald Trump, and so I wanted you guys to take a look at this. This is clip number 4.
See Trump and Biden as the same, different issues. But do you really believe that when people talk about the threat to democracy that Trump poses, do you really think that is an equal evil to Biden?
I mean, listen, I can make the argument that President Biden is a much worse threat to democracy. And the reason for that is President Biden is the first candidate in history, the first president in history that has used the federal agencies to censor political speech, so to censor his opponent. I can say that because I just won a case in the Federal Court of Appeals and now before the Supreme Court that shows that he started censoring not just me. 37 hours after he took the oath of office, he was censoring me. No president in the country has ever done that. The greatest threat to democracy is not somebody who questions election returns, but a president of the United States who used the power of his office to force the social media companies, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to open a portal and give access to that portal to the FBI, to the CIA, to the IRS, to CISA, to NIH, to censor his political critics. President Biden, for the first president in history, to use his power over the Secret Service.
Yeah, that is Crazy. And what he's referring to is RFK Jr. was one of the 12 dubbed disinformation dozen on social media by the Center for Countering Digital Hate. He was censored among the other 11. He was censored, and pages and groups and accounts linked to them were removed during the lockdowns. They were their rights, their First Amendment rights were taken away, and it was found to have been taken away legally by a court. Shelley, what are your thoughts on this?
The bigger the government, the smaller the people. Biden is a tyrant. That's basically what he is. And again, this is all for power. People talk about Donald Trump and, he's going to be a tyrant and authoritarian. No, he's not. No, he's not. Because we have proof, number one. What Trump does, he wants the people to understand you really do have the power. Not Biden, not the FBI, not DOJ, who have now been hijacked under this supposed president who has a heart, as Hillary Clinton says. He doesn't even know his heart is beating. Okay, that's number one. But this is all tyrannical, and this is why I keep saying 1A. I also say 2A, but 1A. And I say this to my side as well as other side. 1A, it starts from there. That is the foundation. When that's gone, all the other 9 amendments and more constitutional rights will fall as well.
Yeah, Crystal, what are your thoughts on this?
Thanks, RFK. We appreciate you saying that. But at first I was like, oh, look, he's advocating for Donald Trump. But now I'm kind of getting the whole Vivek thing. Like, see Trump people, I like Donald Trump. Oh. Dude, you're a liberal. Like, you're not what's good. You don't care. Like, you don't care about anything that's good for this country. I mean, like, you're still peddling, you don't know if puberty blockers are good for children. Like, I'm just not interested in what you have to say. Drop out. Go away.
No, I actually like him in. Stay in as long as you can, because polling is showing that he is taking a lot of votes from Biden. I mean, and I think that's why he was going against Biden, because he's saying, look, this guy is a tyrant. He's taking away our freedoms. I'm the other option for those left-leaning electorate. What are your thoughts there, Yana?
I'm glad that he is speaking. Exactly. I mean, he seems to be generally reasonable person, and I'm glad that he is speaking out. And the whole thing about Trump being the threat to democracy, how? Like, how so? And the thing is that also looking from outside, from like an international perspective, back in 2020 in Belarus, where I grew up, they had elections, and a lot of people thought that the results were fake. So people were coming out and, protesting, and money from the United States, from the West, was pouring into the opposition and to the person who people thought, or the opposition thought, won. Mm-hmm. So it's okay to question elections in other countries, but it's not okay to question them in America. Like, how, in fact, when you question the elections, I mean, that's part of democracy. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you don't trust your government 100%, that's part of democracy. Because if you do trust your government 100%, and if that's what they tell you. The Democrats would tell you have to trust us 100%. That's tyranny. Right. That is totalitarianism. That's the definition of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't trust RFK.
What he's saying, he's talking on principle. I'm not saying I would vote for him.
But
he's not lying. He's talking about the principles on which we talk about every week. These are our principles. These are our foundational principles, and it is okay. Look, the Democrats question elections every time they don't win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they certainly questioned Bush versus Gore. They definitely questioned Hillary Clinton a few moments ago. She questioned back in 2016 when she didn't win. So they when they don't win, they cheat and they lie, and then they will put all of this demagoguery into the air and propaganda because they are bitches.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything that you guys are saying. I just am not buying the whole. Like at first I was, you guys. I was like, oh yeah, he's speaking.
He's not a. I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, he's not an advocate for Trump. He's not. We're not looking at him as being an advocate or a friend or anything of Trump.
But I think that's what he's trying.
Oh, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I think he has a mind of his own.
Yeah,
I don't agree with absolutely everything that he believes, but he generally he seems to be a reasonable guy. Like he is, like an old man who has lived a long life and he has experienced a lot, and I think he just wants to speak the truth.
A reasonable guy that doesn't know if puberty blockers are safe.
I'm not advocating for any of his policies or anything, but
he
this
does speak his mind.
it's good to have this voice, I believe, in the in this election right now, because one thing he does point out are the inaccuracies and the tyranny within the Biden administration, and I think some people are waking up based off of recent polls. So President Joe Biden trails Trump right now in the battleground states that helped decide the 2020 election, according to a new poll. Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania show Trump leading. So on Tuesday, it shows that Trump leads Biden in most of these competitive 2024 states, regardless of whether third-party candidates are factored in. The exception to the trend is Wisconsin, which shows the candidates tied head-to-head matchup, and Biden ahead by 3 points if a third party and an independent candidate options are available. Take a look at this clip talking about Biden. This is clip number 8.
For a wonderful day in sports. Opening day for America's national pastimes. This was about 2 months after he took office. That was an interesting experience in its own right because it was so structured, and I was told, you will say every word that we write out. You will not deviate from the script and go. To the word, like every single question was scripted, gone over dozens of times by many executives, editors and executives. Absolutely. I was on script and was told not to deviate. It was very much, this is what you will ask. This is how you will say it. No follow-ups. No follow-ups. Next. I knew that this was a lot bigger than just the wonderful editors that I worked with. This went up to the fourth floor, as we said, that where all the bosses, the top executives, the decision makers are, the president of our company, the CEO, where they all worked. The big picture to me is that I think it's heartbreaking. I think it's really heartbreaking that the people who love Joe Biden and say they truly care about him have allowed it to get to this point. So I'm not even looking at this from a political angle or my beliefs in anything. This is the human side of it. And when someone is struggling.
Wow. So, I mean, it's not talked about enough how evil Joe Biden has to be.
Oh, yeah.
To allow Joe Biden to put him through the rigors of another election, to see him day after day after day totally just disintegrate on air. And he's clearly weak. His policies are weak. He's physically and literally weak. And she continues to push him out on stage in front of the American people.
Yep.
Shelley, what are your thoughts on that interview? That was Selby Steele.
I've said it before as far as Jill Biden and whomever the handlers are. This is nothing short of elderly abuse. It is elder abuse, I should say. As much as I did not and would not vote for Joe Biden, I don't like his policies. But just like Sage Steele said, as a human being, he's being abused by his wife, his family, his other handlers. That's number one. Number two, what Sage Steele was saying, is that right?
Yeah, I think
what Sage Steele was saying was exemplar for how the media and government have been colluding, certainly even more since Donald J. Trump came down that escalator, that gold escalator. They have been colluding. They are on a mission. And this is why we are in the position where we are as a country, where we don't trust our government, right? We don't even trust it enough to believe that the medical or the health information that they put out is real, right? That's not a good place for a country. Now, you can disagree with your government. You can have whatever conspiracy theories, all that stuff. That's fine. That's allowed in America. But when we don't even trust them for the basic stuff that the government should do. We don't even trust them to protect our borders. Look what they're doing. So we're in a I would say a dangerous place, not just politically, but just as a country overall, because of what the Democrats and now Joe Biden are what they are doing, continuously doing to our country, degrading it and destroying it.
Yeah, Crystal, what are your thoughts on that? Sage Steele, particularly what she said about how the media is lock, stock and barrel involved with this deceitful way they're pushing out President Biden.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's really sad that we as constituents have just kind of allowed it. Like the media, I was watching something just today and it was saying, you are better off than you were 4 years ago. And they said it with a straight face. Aren't you better off than you were? And I don't know a single person that would answer it yes. I mean, like there's not a single person, but that was what the media was saying. So these people are really evil and hungry for power, and Joe Biden is just a part of that. And so that's why I'm kind of a little irritated. You guys, I know some people absolutely hate Trump, but when it comes to a human, like your human nature, you want what's best for you, your family, and your country and the place that you live. And I do believe that there will be some people that if RFK was not there would either stay home or hold their nose and vote for Trump because they know they were better off. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Yana, just from a perspective of propaganda in media. You know, we've seen this type of thing going on in what we call communist countries, third world countries, where the media is used as a propaganda to push them to do certain narratives, certain agendas. And we have it here with this media and the president not telling the truth.
But it's not working here.
I hope it's not working.
Yeah, other countries do it way better. I mean, you cannot possibly promote and elevate Biden. It's impossible. Like, he is falling apart as as he's speaking, doing what I mean. He is a laughing stock all over the world. So it's not helping. All the scripted interviews, everybody knows. Everybody knows. And about the elder abuse, I don't feel sorry for him at all. He deserves it. He is a liar. We've seen videos of him lying about his education, about his background, about his son, and all this stuff. Then he is a racist. He said despicable things that he would not be allowed to be said at all right now. He is probably a pedophile. The way he behaves with children is disgusting. And so, no, he deserves it, and he deserves to suffer until the end of his days and beyond.
I can't say that I disagree. I can't say that I disagree. We're watching biology play out. We're watching laws and principles of sowing and reaping. I mean, this is a guy who just has not had a life that's well lived.
Yeah, I get that. Unfortunately, just on a biological level, if we live long enough, regardless of whether we lied or regardless of whether we are pedophiles or not, we would get to that point too. So that's just on a human level. So
speak for yourself. I'm gonna be 100 years old walking around driving.
Exactly.
Speak for yourself.
Exactly.
Well, I do want to acknowledge our super chatters tonight. I do want to acknowledge you guys. We see you guys. Thank you so much. Big Dog says, why do the black and white liberals accept Jim Crow Joe racism toward black people? I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Cynthia, RFK is a raging liberal. Please don't forget that.
Girlfriend?
We have not forgotten, Cynthia. We are not voting for him. We don't encourage anyone to vote for him. But he did say a true thing this week, and we have to acknowledge a true thing. Big Dog, again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Big Dog.
He says, by the way, Ravens are my favorite team. Go Flock. Oh, call. Krista. Hey, Krista. She says, I am curious to hear your thoughts on KJP, the way she lies during press briefings. Love and honey to you, Pop family.
Oh,
Thank
God.
Yeah,
KJP.
She is a
Corinne
liar.
jumped here. She is.
I said it's a shame I say it's a shame that her outfits are cute and she's dumb.
And her hair is so
I mean,
cute.
that's just a
like,
shame.
don't you want to like her because
she's
she,
cute.
you know,
She's
she is
just
black.
dumb.
She is a lesbian.
She's just dumb. I mean, why can't the outfits be homey and she just be smart?
She's so cute, and she got the prettiest little hair.
She
and
is
you
so
know,
cute.
she's like Haitian, so you want to like her. But everything about this girl, like
she's
you
a
know, from the
stooge.
back, yeah, she's a stooge. Like you married a white media person, like, but then you talk about your black, like self being like oppressed.
Funny, they're always married to a white person.
All the oppressed people keep marrying their oppressors. Talk about Stockholm. They say we got Stockholm.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Give it us free.
Yeah, but she totally lied. I mean, I think Ducey asked her a question this week about the bloodbath comments. So, you know, again, the left keeps pushing this whole bloodbath, saying Trump is encouraging division and right, yeah, context, right. and Biden said it several times.
The media
he said it several times. The media says it all the time, but they just want to harp on what Trump says. Again, propaganda.
Yeah.
They are liars. They're not telling the truth.
Right.
But Real America's Voice like showed conservatives just owning it, like the Biden border bloodbath, and they keep saying it, Biden border bloodbath, and I'm like, that's how we gotta kind of come at these people. Like, if you're gonna lie on us, we just gonna come for you.
KJP cannot stand Ducey. That's basically it. She can't stand Ducey. You can see her face, her look, you know, just her body language. When he asks a question, she just goes into like, oh, I just can't stand this man. But
she doesn't like to answer tough questions. I mean, that's obvious. But I want to go talk about this. So we talked about, you know, how are people believing Biden propaganda? How are people, you know, is this working? Take a look at this. This is clip number 5 from The View.
New documentary, Stormy, takes you through her rocky journey for justice. Take a look.
He has never thought that women like me mattered. That ends now.
She has become this symbol of the resistance. She didn't necessarily want to become that.
It's not a crusade, and I did not get caught. I am 99% sure that Michael forged my signature. Michael Avenatti betrayed me in every way. You imprisoned, bitch! Every time I stood up, I got kicked down even harder, and I hit rock bottom.
Just wanted to stand up for myself.
And we are standing right beside you. Right. So please welcome back to The View, Stormy Daniels.
Really?
It's still funny. I saw the clip, but
they're standing right beside her like she's some wonderful Mother Teresa. Why do we continue to prop up whores? Old, used, raggedy whores. Why do we continue to do that?
Girl.
I don't understand that. Shelly, what are your thoughts?
So I asked myself, is she really a victim? Okay, what's her name? Stephanie Gregory. So I said, you know what? Yeah, she's a victim. She fucked herself. That's what she did. She fucked herself. I mean, she's giving real victims a bad name. You know, she's taking it down. She fucked herself, and I guess it didn't feel good. You know, yeah, she's a victim. It's called self-mutilation. She is no more a victim than she's phony. I mean, she waits till now to start changing the story. There are literally women, young girls who are really raped and who are really sexually abused, and they don't get a dime for it. They don't come out making movies, nor do they get $100,000 plus check on their bedpost. So yeah, the only victim is her, and it's her fault. She fucked herself. I don't have any sympathy for her.
Yeah, I mean, Crystal.
I just, like, why won't she, like, the girl is, like, you're at a place in your life where you just want to kind of forget those things. And like, she's going on The View talking about, like, girl, you're a nobody. You were a prostitute. You got paid off, whether you got paid off or not. Like you said, like, enjoy your money. Walk it off, sweetie. I know it sucks. I know he told you that y'all were gonna be together. I know he told you that he was gonna leave Melania while y'all was probably doing whatever y'all was gonna do, allegedly. But it's over now. Enjoy your payoff and move on. Like, go away. And then The View, the women at The
I'm
View.
standing right beside you.
Exactly. Like, they
Storm.
don't do that for anybody else. Like, they attack, literally, we watched them attack that young man last week. Comey Hughes. And you sit here and embrace this whore, this prostitute that got paid off.
I mean, Yana, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, pretty much the same thing. Like, I mean, I think she's upset that they only allegedly had sex once. So I think she's bitter about that. From when I was reading about that whole back and forth with her and Trump, it seemed very personal. It seems like there's something personal there, that she's holding a grudge, and then it just was going back and forth, and now she wants to be seen. She wants to be more known. And about The View, we're standing, well, that's where they belong. I mean,
you're so right.
Yeah.
They belong with.
I know prostitutes. I've met prostitutes who I have more respect for than I do her.
I mean,
really do. And they didn't get $100,000, right?
And most of them don't talk about it. I mean, like, you do what you do, you go what you get. You get what you get.
Exactly.
It's
and
transactional.
That's it. Exactly.
Oh,
This is the issue, though. She is not a victim. No. She's actually using this to gain notoriety, to gain money. I mean, she's making money off of these book deals. They're about to do a movie about this. She's on TV. She's been brought up out of the gutter, out of the shadows. She's usually always walking through the night, dark nightclubs. The only time she gets a light on her is when she's putting on porn, performing in these porn videos. So now she's brought out in the light in front of normal people, in front of the whores from The View. They're the only ones that praise her. I mean, what type of society are we living in now? The moral decay in this society right now, where this is the person they prop up. She couldn't call her Stormy because that's too much to her slutty name, so she has to call her Storm. You hear Whoopi? Come on, Storm.
She's being buddy with her.
Yeah.
But what was interesting to me when I was reading about Stormy Daniels,
Stephanie Gregory.
Yeah, that she's a Republican.
She might be.
Right. After 2010, she became a Republican. So I wonder, and the reason why she liked the Republican Party is because of the whole libertarian aspect.
Right, of course.
But what's interesting, I wonder, once maybe if that kind of comes out, I wonder if The View would treat her the same way. That would be very interesting.
The only reason she's on The View is because she is going after Trump.
I was about to say, everybody in a trailer park like she's white trash is a Republican. So the fact that she's a Republican, I'm not interested in. As much as I am like, okay, like y'all are all of a sudden so interested in her, and because
she's going after Trump.
She's going after the Don. And that's even if he you know what I'm saying? He probably just paid her to go away. I mean, really and truly, I would be embarrassed.
Let's talk about the suit. She's claiming she and Trump had a fling in Lake Tahoe back in 2006. And in October of 2016, just as Trump was on the brink of becoming president, either Trump or people close to him realized they could be looking at what Bill Clinton's people used to call a bimbo eruption. Trump allegedly reached a deal to pay Daniels $130,000 to not tell after kissing. Generally speaking, paying hush money is not illegal. It's two people entering into a contract not to talk about whatever happened between them. But they're claiming that this is the money that was paid through Trump's turncoat fixer, Michael Cohen, and falsely recorded as Cohen's legal retainer. And so this is what they're getting him. The prosecutors can prove they've got the Trump organization for misdemeanor falsifying of business records. That's what they're trying to prove. That would merit a slap on the wrist, merit a slap on the wrist, and hardly satisfy liberals who consider the orange man bad. So, this is what they're trying to do.
First of all, as I said earlier, before Trump became president, his net worth was about $1.5 billion, right? So he could use his, whatever, I'm going to call it his play money, like he played with Stormy's pussy. He could use that. Allegedly, right? He could do that. And it's a misdemeanor after all this time. See, I've said this before. Trump fucked the wrong woman. He did.
Literally, he should have been doing it to his wife.
Well, he was doing that too. Yeah. But if he's doing it on the side, he did it to the wrong one because she's running her goddamn mouth.
And she tried to play it we only showed part of the clip. She tried to play it like, oh, I don't get paid for this. I don't get paid to do this documentary. I don't get paid. Sweetie, you just want to be seen. You want to be relevant. Like you remember with the whole Corinne Stefan, the superhead phenomenon. I kind of feel like that. It's just like, girl, just go away. Write your book. No one cares about you.
She's a grifter.
Yeah, go away.
She has no principles. I mean, a prostitute, a whore, a porn star, she has no principles. She doesn't care which party she belongs to. She doesn't care about who Trump is. She is there for herself. That's her character. Yeah. So that obviously The View, all those women stand with her because they're the same kind of way.
And you want to still talk about it. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind you being a prostitute and a whore in your day. But who wants to talk? Who wants to relive that?
She's still trying to get some. He already paid her for it.
Nobody. That's something that you in your mature and your days where you're sitting here thinking about getting older, that you just kind of want to forget. But she superhead. Nobody cares.
And lawyer, he's been proven to be a liar. But why all of a sudden now he's a credible person just because Alvin Bragg is going after her for going after Trump? This is so much BS. Look, Trump played with the pussy, or he touched it. She let him touch it. Whatever. He paid her $100 and something thousand for it. Move on.
Yeah, well, like you said, she's getting older. She's probably in this, trying to gain some type of money. That thing is old, used, rubbery thing. And so, she's trying to just get some more money any way she can.
Get married.
So, we'll continue to follow the story. I believe the court case starts up in April. April 15th or something like that. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. Hopefully Trump is still Teflon Don. Again, I am not, pushing this type of situation. There is, moral issue on Trump's behalf, because he did step out on his wife, allegedly.
The other one. So what? I'm just saying.
No, but I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, but again, I don't have anything to do with that, These are the two people we have to choose from, and this is what we have. So, moving on, I want to acknowledge our super chatters again tonight. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's see. I have Big Dog again. The Shelly Spitting Purifier. Preach, sis.
Yes.
So, all right, then we have, who else do we have here? Sin, Speak. I love you, lady. Cynthia from Texas, a.k.a. ATX Mamacita. Hi. All right, Minka. Love this show, ladies. You have a new regular viewer. Wishing you much success. Thank you, Minka. Cynthia, again, thank you, Cynthia. She just spit that truth, lady.
Thank you.
I absolutely.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. Again, we are creating a community here of truth-speaking, freedom-loving patriots. And the only way we can do that is to connect with one another. And you guys, your support helps us to do that. So certainly we appreciate your super chats and also your subscribes. If you subscribe, that way you get up-to-the-minute content when we post, and we appreciate your support.
For sure.
All right. So we are moving along to a sadder sort of situation here. And this goes along with the idea of the moral decay of our society, euthanasia. So euthanasia is on the rise, guys. We're talking about a 28-year-old Dutch woman has decided to die by euthanasia because she says she's depressed. She's not terminally ill or anything like that. It's Zaraya Terbeek, lives in a small village in the Netherlands near the German border with her boyfriend and 2 cats. And she's scheduled for death date for May. She spoke with the Free Press, did a long-form interview. Definitely check it out on the Free Press, the Free Press's website, about her decision, despite being physically healthy. So again, we're seeing euthanasia being promoted openly where legally permitted and covertly where not, cloaked with the expression of dying with dignity. I want to start with you on this, Shelley. Is this dignity?
Absolutely not for what's going on with Zaraya. Let me say something. I'm going to try to be as clear as I can. There is a place for people, individuals who are terminally ill, suffering immeasurable pain, and they have a very short time to live. I think that's one issue. What is happening to this young woman is nothing short of, I don't know, professional abuse, malpractice, negligence, whatever you want to call it. Because what we have done, and I think we have done this over some time, we have glorified death. We glorified and made mental illness normal to now that we are saying, oh, now that you're mentally ill, you can just go ahead and off yourself, and then you're going to have professionals signing off on it. I think that is gross. I think that is detestable to do that. But it comes in the context of us making us as a society basically glorifying death, particularly glorifying death of young people. Young people get, murdered and whatever, we cry for a minute and then we move on to the next one. It happens again. I think this is partly a societal blame, if I'm going to say that, in as much as it is a travesty as what's happening to this young girl.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal, specifically to the idea of how we have become a godless society. And so now things that we felt were morally unacceptable are now being pushed. And this is one of them.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with abortion. Like unfortunately, we become a godless society, but whenever you have no God, you feel that, and these people are playing God. The term is actually called MAID, medical aid in dying, so MAID, like MAID, and it was big in Canada, like, so this is like growing, like, and I think 8 states it's legal, like you could literally say I want to die. Now, unfortunately, like, you're not God. You don't want to start playing God, because what's happening is that you're terminally ill. What if God wants to heal you? And that's, kind of what, the path you have to go forward. What's going to happen soon is that they're going to start doing this to people that they deem lives have no purpose and no meaning. And so you better hope one day that you're not the person that they feel like your life deems no purpose and no meaning. And unfortunately, these are all Democrat states. I think it's like California, Colorado, it's DC. Like, these are the policies where Democrats try to play God. That's the whole equity piece. It's like, we're going to make it equal. We're going to be your savior. We're going to help you die and decide what to do with your life. And it's really sad.
Yeah, Yana, I wanted to get your perspective from a Marxist perspective. Is this something that is pushed within Marxism, this idea of euthanasia or ending someone's life is the dignified thing to do?
Well, the idea in Marxism is that there is no soul. So I'm not surprised that this person, this unfortunate woman, lives in Europe, because that's where Marxism was born. That's where all these deranged ideas are coming from. And so I'm not surprised that it's happening in Europe. So yes, Marxists do not believe that there's a soul, that, it's all about productivity, whether you're a productive human being, and you have to be productive. And but from a spiritual perspective, yes, it's like we went full circle to some sort of pagan death cult, like, back before,
going backwards.
yeah, before the main religions that we have right now, there were human sacrifices. You could sacrifice your child. So, and life really didn't have a purpose as we see it now. So, and in terms of psychological care or like mental health care, this completely turns it upside down because so nowadays we're taught, if somebody mentions suicide, if someone mentions that they want to end their life, we're supposed to take it seriously. We're supposed to, refer them to services. We have to, try to help them. But no, nowadays you can be just, okay, yeah, well, you know what? I know where to refer you to. They will help you with that.
Now, let me ask you this, because we're seeing a perversion of the medical field, of the psychiatric field, a lot in this day and age. This lady has had psychiatric issues. And we talked about this last week with the trans phenomenon. So we're seeing a lot of people, the left pushing, you're trans onto these people. And a lot of these people have psychiatric issues. What's going on here with that? And
so
how can what's the solution?
Two things, maybe two sides of the same coin. In one way, the trans people are a perpetual financial factor for the medical industry. On the other side, like this young girl here in the Netherlands, get rid of them, get rid of the baggage, that's sort of, get her off the books. We don't have to worry about medicating her. That costs money. She's probably going to be, I don't know what they call it in Europe, but she's probably going to be on welfare, things like that. So it's follow the money. Either way, either side, you follow the money. But again, it's a travesty. You mentioned the medical industry. I've said before, I'll say it again. Every industry has been perverted at some level, usually at the top, and it filters down. You see it in your job. I don't care where you work. You see it to some degree, in some aspect. Every industry has been infected and perverted by leftism. And their mission is only to destroy. That's what they do. That's what their goal is, to destroy, because they want power. That's basically it.
Yeah. And we see in this type of situation, a lot of these things, like I mentioned, the moral decay within society, we've seen this a lot because of I believe, the lack of religion. It used to be a time where, the religion, your God or your faith kept you accountable to these types of things. I always grew up taught that if you committed suicide, you're going to hell.
That was a Catholic perspective.
I always thought that. So, it was this idea of, not just that was the only reason why, but, and again, I've never had suicidal thoughts, thank God. But, the idea of that, and then, that accountability held within faith and things like that, that was kind of like the guardrails that we mentioned last week. But as we see the lowering of religious accountability, the lowering of faith accountability, then, some people would push for the state to take charge or step in,
right,
which is something we don't want to see, because then that takes away our freedoms. Well, what do we do?
When people are severely mentally ill, where they are a danger to themselves and a danger to the larger society, they should be institutionalized.
I agree.
And the state has really gotten rid of a lot of those institutions for good or bad reasons, or most of the time they were abusing the patients or whatever. But the state has largely gotten rid of those. So now people, like a lot of homeless people, have mental issues, right?
Yeah.
They're hanging out on the streets or whatever.
But let me ask you this, but in terms of the state, stepping in, should there be a law against euthanasia?
Oh yeah, for sure, without a doubt.
I don't know. No,
Yeah,
and I'm saying I
without a
don't know. I started off by saying if someone is terminally ill,
right,
and all the hope and prayers is not going to change the fact. I have seen many people, they didn't necessarily choose euthanasia, but I have seen many people die suffering immeasurably, even with the palliative and hospice care, and they pass away. I think in those cases, which is what euthanasia was really started. So to your point, you're right. Again, the bigger the government, the smaller the people. It gets out of hand. It has gotten out of control to the point that healthy young people, or healthy people, anyone, are choosing to die as if death is some glorification. I think those are a lot of different factors, all that play a part in that.
Yeah, that's what are your thoughts there? I mean, we were talking about the state coming in last week and, issues where they're not supposed to come in on. If you guys go check out that clip, we posted it today. We were talking about the DeSantis and the idea of the ban on social media for minors. It's posted on our YouTube. But this is, again, the state. What is the state's role, if anything, in this?
I mean, Shelley made a good point that this has to do with socialized care. So if this is happening in Sweden, it makes sense because they have socialized care.
It's happening here.
Well, I mean, no, we don't have euthanasia.
Yes, we do.
Well,
it's happening here. It's happening in Canada.
In Canada, yeah. So
No, I mean in U.S.
Yeah, some states.
It's 8 states.
Oregon has had it on the books for a while.
It's
8 states. Hold on, let me tell you. California, Colorado, California, Colorado, District of Columbia, Hawaii, Maine, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico.
In Oregon, I don't know about Oregon now because Oregon's had.
I mean, it's godless. It's a godless society, and I can see, I guess, when the person. But I feel like, I don't know. It has to be between the doctor and God. And if the state. I mean, your question is, should it
be illegal to do this for someone that's not terminally ill?
Oh, not terminally ill.
It's illegal to kill, period. Even if you're terminally ill.
Illegal or illegal?
No, it's illegal to kill.
Like this lady, this situation.
Because you're opening the door.
Right.
So I feel like even if it's like, terminally ill or in pain, you're opening that door. Like that's a question that they discuss in like ethics classes.
Exactly.
And so basically, once you open one door, like it's just gonna be like, well, she's suffering mentally. So how can you differentiate then, the physical and the mental? So like that girl she's claiming that she's suffering mentally, so she has to die.
No.
And so, but that's just. I mean, it also reminds me of like lobotomies that they were doing like back in, what is it, the 30s or something?
No, yeah,
Like
maybe
40s?
a little bit before that, but yeah.
Yeah, and because it's like they're trying to treat a spiritual decay that we have in society with some kind of physical modification or like addressing the body
like trans
and not the spirit. Exactly. So if you don't feel yourself in your body, we can cut off your penis or cut off your breasts. If you don't want to live, well, we can just kill you. It's
help you kill yourself,
Right.
and that is killing.
No.
That is killing and
Unalive,
it's illegal.
unalive.
You guys, unalive yourself. Like you guys, it goes back to the whole abortion thing. Like you do not have the right to take another person's life, even if they're on. Like I know you said like they're terminally ill. No, they are. No, they are not. No, they are not. You are being assisted, meaning you are being.
No, but I'm saying, but typically people who have chosen, in general, they have made this decision before they knew they were terminally ill.
Then you don't.
But let me tell you about that. So, for example, in Russian Orthodox religion, you definitely go to heaven, or you might even become a saint. The more you suffer. So the more you suffer, righteously, if you're
Catholics,
if you're a righteous person and you suffer, you automatically elevated. So when you die, you're going to be elevated if you suffered in your lifetime. So by telling the person, look, I'm going to end your suffering, or I'm going to, or even asking them, giving them that option, you actually might be taking away their eternal life.
Yeah, and God, you
Give
guys,
me a morphine drip.
We cannot exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like you can help somebody with their pain without ending their lives. And when you start ending their lives, you're starting like you're playing God.
Speaking of that, talking about ending the lives. Take a look at this. This is a clip. This is a situation here where a parent decided to keep these children and keep them as they are. No changing in medical or anything like this. This is clip 7.
Conjoined twins Abby and Brittany Hensel have welcomed a new family member. Nearly 3 decades after the pair first shared their story on the Oprah Winfrey Show, the girls are all grown up, and one of them is now a married woman. According to public records obtained by Today on March 27th, Abby tied the knot with Josh Bowling in 2021, and the trio lives in Minnesota, where the twins were born and raised.
Oh, double the fun. Double the fun. Well, sort of. They got two heads, but they got one body. So, we're going to talk about this. So, lady has gotten a lot of attention and a lot of criticism. So, you know, the conjoined twins have decided to get married, one of them, and now people are pushing back on the marriage. What are your thoughts on this, Shelley?
I remember when these twins were first, profiled on, I think it was the Oprah show. I actually remember watching that show. And I remember, as I'm thinking now, I don't understand why their parents did not have them separated.
Yeah.
I do understand that the risk was that one of them would pass away. I understand that as a parent, no one wants that. I get that sentiment. But I would not have consigned my children to this, I don't even know what the word is. I would not have consigned them to this life like that. I just don't know what the word is. I would have made the Solomonic or the Sophie's choice to have my children separated, and whichever one passed away, have the proper burial and services and honor that life, that brief life at that time. So that part, I still don't know why. I mean, again, I don't probably never know why. That's the part that I don't even want to say struggle, but that's the part that I have a lot of, I don't know, about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal. So after it's Abby and Brittany Hensel. So after Abby's recent marriage to Josh Bowling brought them back into the spotlight, the 34-year-old sisters had an epic response to critics. This is the message to all the haters out there. Read a March 29th TikTok from them, which featured pictures of the duo alongside Abby's husband. If you don't like what I do, but watch everything I'm doing, you're still a fan. We've been making a lot of headway. 2 heads are better than 1.
That's what the husband is thinking.
Yeah, I'm struggling. See, this is why they've all been caricatured. I mean, it's just
Crystal. I mean,
she's laughing. Go ahead, Yana. Go ahead, Yana. Yana, go ahead. Y'all go to hell.
2 heads are better than 1.
And her husband said that?
No, she said that. I bet the husband
She gonna have the nerve to
the
clap
husband
back.
is thinking that.
He's gonna
because
You said
He
that. You made
can't
that up.
use both of them.
KJ
What can
made
he?
that up.
How can he use?
KJ made that up.
I mean, oh my God! Like I feel bad
You need
for.
a tissue, Reese?
Yes,
Reese,
you guys. I feel bad for the twin that didn't get married.
I feel bad for
Like, can
both.
you imagine?
She
You wanna
did,
go to
though.
sleep.
She did.
You want to go to sleep, and Abby's husband wants to have sex. And you're grossed out by it. Maybe she don't like him.
No,
like,
I mean, they
like
been
you
together
said.
all this
Oh,
yeah.
she likes him. Come on. They could only.
No, well, no, I'm just
No,
saying.
just saying, I
Imagine if
just
you're
know that
just
the-
not.
Well, what is it?
You're not
I'm
connected.
curious.
I
You're
saw the
connected.
pictures.
No, they are connected from
both
the waist
heads.
below.
Both heads like him.
No, he only kisses Abby. He only kisses Abby. So what if
this
the
is why I
other
would've
one
had
wants
them
to
separated.
What's the other name? Abby
Brittany.
and
Brittany.
Brittany.
What if Brittany want to get married? That's the thing that it's like. What if she?
And that might happen. And that might happen.
So like you said, the parents. I just would not
Right,
have
have done
banished my children
Yeah,
to
I
a
would
life
not have
like
consigned
this.
them
I
to
just
this.
would not.
So, Shelley, I know of these girls because I remember when this, like 10 years ago, they were on TV and stuff. And they could not be separated. Like
No, they could. They
Yeah,
are
they- yeah.
disceples. They are
Yeah.
they are attached at the waist.
They have the
below.
same heart.
The risk
They
is
have-
that one of them, or maybe both, would have died.
Yeah.
They have 2 hearts. They have 2
so
brains.
one
with 2
controls
spines.
one leg.
They have
the
2
other
spines.
one is controlling
They
the
have two
other
They
leg.
have 2
So they
spines.
coulda got a
2
big
brains. They're
leg.
dicephalous.
Yeah, they coulda
have
got a
2
big-
brains, 2
yeah.
spines, and they have 2 hearts. And
Yeah.
their organs below
Yeah.
the waist are
Right.
connected.
Well, do they have 2 titties
So they
or 4.
No, they have 2.
You are. You're so.
They have.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking
They
about
have 2.
breastfeeding. I'm thinking about breastfeeding.
They have 2
I'm thinking about the baby.
You a lie.
KJ, they have 2 breasts and they have 1 reproductive area.
Exactly. So one.
So how could you possibly?
You can separate. You can
separate,
maybe
yeah.
they would have been infertile.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them would have
But I wouldn't
died.
have
There would
But
just
they
be
would
a
have been.
torso.
There are people who live like that without the limbs at the bottom.
And they get the fake. Yeah, they get the fake. Yeah, no, you guys, I would have never been my child. I feel bad for the other one because
bad
what
for
if
them
she
both.
wanna meet somebody like he gonna sleep? It's gonna be how
Look, in the media talks about this, talking about wherever they live, and they're both 5th grade teachers. What the hell? They ain't no damn choice.
Exactly. That's what I said. They don't have no and honestly, it's probably beautiful for them. Like, congrats to them if it works for them.
No,
but God, I just would not have
not
been.
have done
Anything
that.
with 2 heads is a monster.
I would not have
No,
done
no.
Anything with 2 heads
I
is
mean,
a monster.
another thing is that legitimately, they can claim the they/them pronoun. Legitimately.
No.
But they do see themselves as individuals. They really do.
Yeah, and then thank God for that. And
what you mean? Thank
no,
God?
that they're not part of the alphabet
I'm
community.
saying they see themselves as individual people, not trans in essence. They
Right,
see
that's what I said. Yeah,
right.
I mean,
Yeah, I would've
we
said
don't
that.
want to make
Yeah.
light of it. I mean, because again, every life is cherished, and and things like that. So I do appreciate that their parents. That would have been a tough decision.
Absolutely.
Whether if you do disjoin them, is that the word? Disjoin, then you don't know if one would die or both would die. And again, we treasure
Well, they
every
did,
life.
No, they did. The risk was that one would most likely die. But I mean, which one? I don't know. That was the risk.
They didn't know which
They
one
didn't
to
want to
choose.
take that risk. I just would not have consigned my children to that. They are mocked and made fun of, and that's not dignified either.
Yeah.
Even for them, if they make the jokes about themselves. I mean, they are like monsters in a sense, and I'm not saying that to be funny at all. It's just I would not have consigned my child to that.
Can you imagine like them having intimacy, like in your what's the at Brittany? You're Brittany, and you gotta stay up. You gotta.
Or when you
Crystal,
roll
Crystal,
you gotta come with me anyway.
Crystal, I am pretty sure that they both are in on it, and I'm pretty sure.
Sex is mental for women.
Honey,
It really is.
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. Both of them are okay with that dude. That's what I'm saying. Both heads are okay. Like, this would have not happened if they were not okay.
I'm better than one, I guess.
Well, we will.
Polygamy and
Yes.
No,
Yes.
they can't help it, Yana.
Yes.
That's not polygamy. They can't help it.
For him, he could help it. I mean, but that's why we always say.
you
That's
have
why
to be okay with it.
we always
There's
say
no
there's
other
somebody
way.
for everybody. And the question I had, honestly,
Don't start.
was Crystal. Now you have said on here on the show that if it was the God put it on your heart to be with a man with breasts, remember? Mm-hmm. There's somebody for everybody. Would this be something you would consider too if you fell in love?
Y'all, there is nothing wrong with them having love.
No,
I really don't. I think that it's beautiful that this man decide. I told you the person I feel bad for is the other twin. What if she finds somebody that falls in love
I
with
got a
her?
problem with him. I actually think he did it to mock.
I'm glad they found love. I am.
They found love, but I just think I don't know.
Let me tell you something. If this happened, let's say 20 years ago, this would have been the craziest, the weirdest thing that we would see on the news.
Well, it did happen, didn't it?
No, but honestly, nowadays we have such weirdos and weird couples that actually their relationship, even though it's super weird and they're like a two-headed girl marrying a guy. But we have couples who are like, I used to be a girl and now I'm a man, and my husband used to be a man and now he's a girl, and so we switched roles.
I think
that
it's
is.
the same. I don't think this is the same thing.
So what? No. What
I
I'm
agree with
saying,
her.
what I'm saying that actually, even though it's so weird, our society right now is actually more weird than those women. They're actually still female. They actually still married a man. They actually
Black girls
still,
can't get nobody to marry.
They still want to have a child. But there are other people nowadays who are like cutting off their, changing their, gender. And, we have, what's her name? The actress who went from a girl to a boy.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I'm saying is that unfortunately, this story is actually not as crazy as our world is today.
Yeah, my 14-year-old said, Mom, if they're happy.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, Yana, I mean, back in our day, the craziest thing was somebody walking around with 6 toes.
Right.
Remember you used to have one friend who had the little baby toe.
Or the extra finger.
Yeah, or the extra finger. And now we have all types of
They're like 40-something, I think, right?
No, they're 34. Like 34.
So, all right. Well, that brings us to the end of the show tonight, guys. We took a little curve there. We wanted to bring in something a little lighter after the euthanasia conversation. I do want to acknowledge our super chatters.
Hi, Mark.
We have Mark. Oh, thank you so much. Says, sucks to be late to the party. I love my ladies as always. Thank you so much, Mark. All right, Big Dog says, wait, what is Yana, a Marxist? Explain. Oh, no, tell him. No, she's far from Marxist. She's from Russia. Well, she knows them.
So I was born in Russia. I grew up through the fall of Marxism, of the Soviet Union. I grew up in a family that was very anti-Marxist. So I know what it's about. I know what tactics they use. So I see it nowadays in this country, and it's really scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So that does it for us tonight. I want final thoughts, ladies. I'll start with you, Chris. I'll start with you tonight, Shelly.
Strap up, stand up, speak up, show up, or however I normally put those together. But nevertheless, be aware and prepare. Our country is under attack. Be aware and prepare.
Yeah. All right, Yana, final thoughts.
Well, I hope that this rain is gonna stop, and I hope that you guys can enjoy spring, and just I hope everyone finds love, just like the twins. And
if they can, nobody has an excuse.
Exactly. Stay positive.
Crystal,
I know, I'm with you. Like, black girls can't get nobody to marry them, but these twins, conjoined twins. Anyway, you guys, y'all, our production team is hollering right now. They've been hollering all show.
Yes.
You guys, I agree that, find love, stop playing God. Anytime somebody's trying to play God, God does God way better than we do God. So I guess that's my final thoughts.
Yes. All right. So same here. Thank you guys for watching. Come back tomorrow night. We have a special broadcast. I'm going to have a guest on starting up the 8:30 show. So the 8:30 show is a little different. It's just me. I'm going to have a special guest. But it's different from Poppin' Politics. Basically, this show is going to be talking about trending news and politics from a faith-based perspective. So we're going to get a little biblical, get a little religion in there. So if you are one who loves that, who wants more of that, definitely check us out tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. here this time, but then going forward, we will be on the 8:30 channel. That's 8 spelled out 30 channel on YouTube. All right, so that'll be here tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Good night.